Welcome to this video. I'm playing G-Star 2014. I only played him a couple of days ago. I don't really remember the game. I know the name. I remember the name, but not the game. Okay, let's see. I'm go with the H3 line. It's H3 line, but not with the trading on E5. That's not bad. The trade on E5, but I'd like to have a bit of a sharper position here for the 15-minute game. Bit more fun. Does not hurt. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. G4. G4 is often a good idea to play against his future F5 break. This whole setup is designed to kill off Black's counterplay from the get-go. This pawns on E4 and G4 should stop F5 or make it difficult to play F5. And if Black is not able to play F5, then he has a hard time in this position, as it is the only break. B6 is a mistake, a real mistake. The problem with this move is that it weakens the light squares here, like B5 and C6. These are now weaker. And it makes it more difficult for him to play C6. This is another break that he has, C6. And now he only has F5 as the only break left. And I don't think he will manage to play that. Let's see. I can even think about Bishop D3 here, covering F5 yet once more. Rook G1 is also a move, so that F5 is not possible due to the capture, and take on H6. Yeah, and Bishop D3. Sometimes also H4 is a move, so that after F5 I can play H5. Here, however, there's F4 trapping the bishop, so this is something to avoid. I think I'll play Bishop D3. It's rare that you can do that, because normally Black has played Knight C5 earlier, so this square is controlled. If he goes F5 now, I'm just going to take there. Yes. Yeah, okay. I don't want to give up the dark squared bishop. This piece is too important. Let's see. Now there is a change in the position, as on C5 there is a piece that I can capture, so that after F5, I know it's paradoxical, I just said I don't want to capture, but if he plays F5 and his intention is to play F4, it's not winning a piece anymore, as I can take on C5. This is an important resource, as if you think about F5, for example, takes GF, GF, and Queen H4, H5. I'm attacking F6 and getting the Queen. Oh, that's a drastic move. He wants to prevent H4, obviously. Yeah, there are many ways to play against that. Queen F3 is a move, keeping an eye on F5. Then maybe Knight G5. Huh? No, this is something I must avoid. But what about Knight F3? Isn't he just going back then? What I'm thinking about is after Knight F3, Queen. Yeah, I don't really believe Queen F6. Yes, that is good. So he must do something like that. And then I thought Queen D2. How does he protect? How does he protect the pawn on H6? It probably doesn't. If he must play g5, that's really horrible. Let's do that. Yeah, maybe he still must play f5 to get something going here. If I can just take h6 without any particular bad thing happening to me, it's very, very good. So let's check f5, gf, gf, bishop h6, e takes f4. This is maybe a line, but I have rook g1 threatening on g7, and if he covers it, I can take e4. Yeah, that's already a very bad position, probably. Yeah, this line with h3, g4, it does not leave black much room for half moves or semi decent moves. It's really tough. b6 was so and so, really a mistake, and now now queen h4. Okay, what now? That's an interesting spot here. If he gets enough time to get knight f8, g6 to f4, then this is not even so bad. What I'm wondering is, can I quickly open up the king side, or do I need to spend time on that? Like a long castle, rook moves, rook g1, knight f8, but then I play h4 and black explodes. Yeah, that's enough. I don't need to do any fancy stuff. I just have the a4 break, h4 break, h4, not a4, and yeah, what he can try, yeah, but not really. I thought maybe knight f6 could be an idea to put some pressure on the g4 pawn so that h4 is not so easily possible, but it does not work at all. Knight f6, I still play h4. Knight g4 and I take on g5. This is really exploding. Okay, yeah, still h4, yeah. Okay, now here is everything's controlled. The thing is, what about the queen side? Okay, I need to cover c4 anyway, and maybe get the knight back to d2. This is not doing much on f3 now anyway. The question is, how do I handle this pawn structure on the king side? Yeah, there is one very reliable method. This is to go h5 and just close it down. But this is a bit lame. I take it. Yeah, it's not that. It is not helping really. Okay, yeah, let's do that first. The thing is, of course, the idea is knight d2, f1, g3. I don't see him ever taking on h4. This is simply never possible. There's also b4 as an idea. Ultimately, this will switch to the queen side anyway. that's not the best move, h5, but let's just imagine I would play h5, close it down, and then play b4. At the end, I'll break through on the queen side. There is no doubt about it. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, still b4 is good. Maybe he's trying to play c6 now. Yeah, but note that this b6 move always leads to a position when I capture, where the d5 square is really weak. c6 without b6 is entirely different. Okay. So f5 is the aim for the knight. So let's see, should I now combine this with the queen side? I guess if I play b4 takes rook a1, he will exchange one pair of rooks, and I don't want him to allow any exchanges. I can invest this one move here. Okay, so knight, it's not clear if knight f5 is really leading too much. He will take it, and I don't think I have gained so much. If I play b4 and he takes a b, knight a6, maybe he can do that. Get the knight over to b4. Yeah, okay, that's not brilliant, but maybe he can do that. Okay, it still should help me. Yeah, over to b4. Okay, let's see how to combat that. Oh, maybe he has c5. If I take knight takes, knight to d4, but okay, his light squares are so terribly weak. It cannot really help him. Okay. I'm not afraid that he takes my bishop. I mean, I have a soft spot for bishops, that's clear. But what I'm trying to do is to attack this piece with queen d2 and a knight move, or bishop d2 and a knight move. I don't want to give him the opportunity to exchange it. Ideally, he needs to retreat it, and then it's on this a6 square. Let's see what he's doing. Knight d1, e3 to f5. Yeah, this is one way to go. b1, the bishop on b1, of course, is also covering a2. So rook a2 and these kind of moves are not possible. Yeah, it's very difficult for him here. Can hardly move. What he can try to do, but he does not do for a couple of moves, is try to move the f8 rook and play knight f8 to g6. Knight f8, g6, f4. This would be a positional threat. And maybe then I'm compelled to... Okay, he's retreating voluntarily. Okay, back to c5. Okay. Yeah, maybe just, I mean, I'm not forced to do anything here. I can also get back to rook a1, the rook a1 idea. If he plays knight a6 now, again going for b4, I play rook a1 and it's a really nasty pin. And maybe I'm threatening b4, maybe. Yeah, after b4 he probably... Okay, let's think about this. After b4, where is he going? Knight a4, I take with the bishop. Bishop takes, and then knight f5, and I've got b5. So this is a disaster. He must go back to a6. And then, yeah, everything. Knight b5, I don't know. It's very, very good. Knight b5, or maybe even king b3. I can even do that. Or knight a6, knight d1 to e3. I only must be cautious that I'm not playing this too artificially, and at some point he can open up the queen side to his favor. I mean, I don't mind the queen side to open, but not with my king under fire. I need to do this slowly. Okay, well, this is another square, but it's not a very good one. Where do you go from there? Okay, so it's now knight d1 or... and to e3, yeah. Okay. If he tries to double on the a file, I have bishop b3 again. Yeah, this type of position is the reason why I usually don't play the pure classical King's Indian, where often black gets some type of attack going, and you sometimes need to defend very accurately. And in those type of lines where you have not castle short, you sometimes get this type of position where quite often it is just a matter of some precision and you win almost automatically if black is playing a somewhat second-rate setup like it happened here. Okay, so bishop d3 to keep b5. He made this sacrifice to open up the queen side. So I'm ready for knight e3 to f5, and also I can just go back to c3 to cover here, but it's not necessary. Okay, right? I can head towards f5 finally. Okay, I didn't really see that move. Maybe I should have. Okay, it's still. Let's open up now. Even if he gets b5, that's not fatal. So knight e to f5. Probably, yeah, this should be fine. threatening to take g7 and knight f5 again if he takes on b5. Okay, if I now take on g5, he will capture on d3 and capture on b4. This is not really good. So I must probably take. Yeah, queen takes. I mean, even and probably need to trade queens. It's not a problem. I mean, this is still very dominating. I have various ways to win pawns here. Not sure if this is good. Knight g7, knight f5, take h6 maybe. But taking this bishop on g7 is really not what you want to do. It's such a bad piece. Bit surprised. Am I overlooking something? I mean, rook takes looks extremely strange. Yeah, okay. So just the queen trade, or I don't think I have something better really. And it's just a good position. It's not necessary to do anything fancy. I'm just wondering, what about rook c1 here? How does he protect? Probably rook b7, okay. Rook a7 I could have taken. Rook takes c7, rook takes c7, knight d6 takes on b5. Okay. Yeah. One thing is I would like to take the knight here, but on the other hand, b4 hangs, so I must be cautious. But he's not really threatening much, does he? Does not threaten to take here, for example. So maybe just rook back. I can take g7 and play knight f5 and win the h6 pawn. But I'm not sure. I don't want to sell off this knight against the bishop for just one pawn. It's not looking right. Now let's get on the a file and keep the pressure on. I would like to take, as mentioned, this would be, but if I would have taken b4, I can take on b4, and that's not entirely clear. If he plays rook, okay. Rook b8, maybe I could have taken, but he cannot. Now he cannot prevent it really. But okay, the other move that is threatening is rook a8. Yeah, rook a8. Tja. So what now? Yeah, should I take it? Yeah, I guess I can take it. Knight h5 maybe. Knight h5. Maybe bishop e7 is a defense. Okay, I have all the time in the world. Don't need to rush anything here. By now, or first king up. Yeah. I can even think about b5. I'm not so sure about it. Let's think about it. Knight h5 is not bad at all, but it lacks a bit of punch. What is he moving if I do that? Rook b6, knight b7. Maybe. I wonder if I should regroup this knight to a5 and to c6. Would be excellent. Okay, let's try that. If he plays c6, okay. Okay, I want to prevent c6. It's probably not good, but I mean good for black, not good for black, but let's prevent it anyway. Okay, I want to put it on c6. Another good plan is maybe rook a3, h3, h7. It's also very, very tough to defend. Yeah, the knight arriving on a5 is almost a complete Zugzwang. Rook g8 is now interesting. But if I arrive on c6, it's also very nice. So this is completely paralyzed. The rook will never move. So what is exactly? It's almost Zugzwang. No? He can only move rook b7 to b6. And, switching over now. Threatening rook f7.
Black resigns.
Yeah, it's really a bit of a sadistical game now here, but this is the way it is played. What can you do? This can easily happen. This type of position if black does not get any counterplay against this e4 g4 wedge, and he made some positional mistakes. b6 is a mistake really. It at the end, look at the end. The white squares, the light squares were the problem, and I don't think that after that he can get a satisfactory position anymore. Queen f6 is the computer suggestion, and it wants to play queen e2. Okay, yeah, maybe this move is tactically interesting because king e2. There's bishop a6. This is not so convincing. Maybe. Yeah, but even here, what are you doing after b3? I'm threatening on h6, and just as this is a disaster. Here I can both capture is good, and this is also good. Yeah, this is quite funny. For example, a human player will easily assess this position as almost strategically winning for white, while the computer here, in this case Stockfish, only sees 0.7 for white, which is far too low. It's almost a win if white plays it precisely, because black has absolutely no counterplay. The king side is sealed. I have a possibility to put a knight on f5. It's not too far off from the game. If you look at this, in the game I had the additional option to open the h file, and this is why I didn't play h5. But even with h5, it would have been absolutely overwhelming. Yeah, around here there were many possibilities. I could also win pawns. I mean, but I don't want to. Here you can take and take here.
Check.
That's also good. Maybe this is really good, to be honest. You don't need the dark squared bishop anymore with this thing incarcerated. Yeah, but okay, I just played it in the most methodical fashion on the queen side, and he has absolutely no play. Yeah, you sort of want to win with the mating attack, but this is just so bad. And okay, this was one way to play it with this total Zugzwang. And here he has no move. This rook takes f7 threatened and cannot move. Knight has no square, bishop has no square. Can go rook b6, but I even have that. Yeah, that's it's really terrible. All right, thanks for watching.